Right then, Championship prediction for Game Week 7. So we're going to get straight into this one because I'm a busy guy. I don't have time for these rambling intros anymore. Starting off on Friday night, we've got West Brom and Leicester. Two good sides. One has started better than the other. Obviously both in the Midlands as well, so a bit of a derby, but not really, not too much. What do we have to say about these two teams? I just want to look at Leicester's form, picking up points, but mainly draws and a couple of wins here and there. West Brom started to slip recently. We lost to Derby and Middlesbrough. But take nothing away from them, they're still a good side. However, I'm going to go with a draw for this one. I think I'm going to say 1-1 to them. So a bit of a boring Friday night match, but they are two top sides who both obviously want to get promoted, so it will be a tough game. But that's all for Friday, obviously. We're going to move on to Saturday, which I think the bulk of our fixtures are in. Let me just count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. All of our fixtures are on Saturday other than that one. No televised fixtures on Sunday or Monday this week for the Championship. But we're going to start off with the 12:30s, obviously, which will be on Sky, and then the rest of them 3 o'clocks. So Coventry and Birmingham, two sides, once again, same as West Brom and Leicester, really. Good sides that haven't started too badly. Coventry, I think, have dipped a little bit recently. Who did they play last week? I've forgotten. They played Leicester in a 0-0 draw. Birmingham picked up 3 points against Swansea. So, looking at the teams, I think it's quite a balanced game. You could be looking at a draw here as well. But I am going to edge it in Coventry's favour. I'm going to say 2-1 to Coventry. I think that the points should be coming in for them again fairly consistently. I think this might be their season to have a decent top 6 finish, maybe even a top 2 finish. With the relegated side, it's not quite performing how we expect so far, and also the playoff contender. So I can't even speak. So Bristol, Coventry, and Sheffield United are in the playoffs. Obviously, Sheffield United are bottom of the league currently, and I've said a lot of ums. And I'm starting to do my own heading with that. And Bristol City had a decent start, but I would say that there is a little bit missing for me for now. Let's just get on with it. Moving on, we've got Swansea and Millwall. Sorry for the quote, I started rambling and got lost in my words. But Swansea and Millwall. Millwall, still fairly impressive. I still think they're in with a top 6 shout. Definitely shouldn't underestimate them. Swansea, though, as well, not too bad so far. A loss last week to Birmingham, but I wouldn't say that's something to be ashamed of. I think quite a few teams will do the same. So if I just have a look at the table real quick, 10th and 11th place. I'm going to give it in Millwall's favour, I think. I'm going to say 1-0 to Millwall. Just the one goal in that match seems fair enough, in my opinion. But yeah, Millwall, good start to the season so far. Not too bad. Definitely think they've had a good enough start to warrant me debating them being in the top 6 like I was at the start of the season. Unlike, obviously, Sheffield United, who have had a bit of a poorer start. But we won't talk about that, even though we love it. Wrexham and Derby are our last TV kick-off. Wrexham picking up 3 points and Derby slowly finding the way, I'd say. Maybe not quite what we expected. But I suppose Eustace does have to find his way with this side. He's still learning what his favourite squad is and all of that. They did pick up a win against West Brom, which is tough, but then they went on to They went back to losing ways against Preston, whereas Wrexham are starting to find a bit of consistency in the league. I think Wrexham should win this one at home. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Wrexham, which is fairly impressive. I think that all 3 promoted sides have had good starts compared to the 3 relegated sides, which have been a little bit below par in my opinion, and probably the opinion of most. Yeah, probably of the opinion of most. We'll just leave it at that. Right, we're going to move on to the 3 o'clock fixtures now, and this video is already terrible, so we're going to try and rattle through these and make it a smaller horrible watch instead of a long horrible watch. No, everyone's clicked off now, so I might as well just sack the video off. But we are going to do Charlton and Blackburn. Charlton, really good win against Sheffield United. We love to see it. Can they replicate this against Blackburn? Maybe not. Blackburn have been fairly decent. I'm going to give them a draw, though. I'm going to say 1-1. I'm still coming to terms with learning how to predict Charlton. They're a really tough side to predict. I think I had it spot on last week, though, but Sheffield United just went up for the goal, unfortunately. But I think Blackburn might be, so I'm going to go with the draw there, 1-1. Same as I predicted for Charlton last week, but with a different team going up against them this time, so hopefully they actually do want to score. Ipswich and Portsmouth. Now, Portsmouth, after last week, probably holding their heads down. Probably not too impressed with that result, but Ipswich is a tough challenge, and this is their chance to redeem themselves, really. They could walk away from this and completely make people forget about that Sheffield Wednesday result, which I wouldn't be too surprised about, to be honest. Ipswich not had the greatest of starts since coming back down. Obviously, they had the big win against Sheffield United, but then they played against Blackburn. It was called off, but they were losing. I think that should count, in my opinion, as a loss. So, in my head, they did lose, even though technically they're a game behind, but they're not. But they are, if that makes sense. So I'm going to say Portsmouth pick up a draw here, I think. I'm going to go with 2-2. Ipswich still have some really talented players that I think are very capable of scoring, as they showed against Sheffield United, but so do Portsmouth, and I think they've got a point to prove, especially after losing to everyone's favourite to be bottom of the league. But speaking of bottom of the league, the team that are actually there, Sheffield United, they are away to Oxford United. And they're another side down near the bottom. They did pick up a win last week, though, so they have created a little gap for themselves, have climbed out of the relegation zone. Sheffield United is 0 points, 1 goal and 13 conceded. 4 points behind Sheffield Wednesday, 5 points behind Derby, 5 points behind Watford, and also 5 points behind Oxford now as well. So they've got a little mountain to climb, and they do need a win here. Realistically, they will be looking for 3 points to try and bridge the gap between at least one of those sides. They can definitely guarantee that if they win that, they catch up to one team, which at this stage is very important. Going into game week 7 with 1 goal scored and no points, as probably one of the favourites to win the league, it is a massive underachievement. Do they do it though with Chris Wilder? Problem is, he doesn't have the players he wants. If he managed to keep his job, which he shouldn't have lost anyway when they brought him straight back. Anyways, we all knew that this would probably happen. Maybe not this quick, but we knew it'd happen. But I think that the players he's got isn't what he wants for the most part. And he didn't get his own window. He lost a lot of the talent he had last season. I still think he's the right man for the job, though, to save this. But I think this week he might be able to salvage a point. I said the same last week and he didn't, but this week he might be able to. I'm going to go 1-1 again. I predicted the exact same. But Oxford know that they can capitalise on this. Sheffield United know that they have to try. So it should make a decent watch if you go to that. Or if you have a dodgy stick, which no one does, do they, right, guys? No. Preston and Bristol City. Two teams that are in the top half. I think Bristol City are still in the top half. The amount of times I've had to look at the table because I can't remember. Yeah, Bristol City are definitely in the top half, the third. I was chatting about them earlier. I think I was chatting rubbish, to be honest. But Coventry haven't actually lost yet, which might be why I favoured them a little bit more than Bristol City. But yeah, both these teams on the exact same results: 3 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. Obviously, that can't happen unless they both get a draw. So they'll have to stop winning. I'm going to go with a Bristol City win away from home. 1-0. I think that they have what it takes. And I won't dwell on that for too much longer, I don't think. Because now I'm realising that we're getting on. And I said I won't keep it too long. Southampton and... Nope, I've missed one. Sheffield Wednesday and QPR. And there's no point spending much time on this. Obviously, congratulations to Sheffield Wednesday for getting 3 points last week. QPR, though, I don't think are going to be as nice to play. You've got 2 teams here that I think before the season started were probably being talked about relegation. But I think QPR are definitely away from that now after the 7-1 battering. They have recovered very nicely. And I think that they will continue to pick up points. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win here for QPR away from home. And we're going to move on to Southampton and Middlesbrough that I tried to skip to earlier. So Southampton and Middlesbrough now. Middlesbrough top of the league, I think, still. And Southampton probably the better... No, the middle, I'd say. Leicester probably the best. Southampton middle, Ipswich worst for the relegated sides. I think Middlesbrough should look to pick up points here and keep their reign, but whether that actually happens or not, I don't know. I'm worried about that. The storage ran out once again. We still got that problem, and then I got cramp at the exact same time, so it was actually quite a good time for it to cut. But as I was saying, Southampton, I think they should look to lose because Middlesbrough want to probably keep at the top of the table for as long as possible. 2-1 if that didn't get through into the video. And we'll move on to Stoke and Norwich. Now, we definitely have to be quick because they don't want the storage to run out again. Both teams not playing too bad. I think a draw might be in order here. Whether it's 1-1 or 2-2, I'm not too sure. I'm going to go with 1-1 though. I think a draw against those 2 teams is probably a safe bet. And then the last teams to talk about is Watford and Hull. Hull have had a decent start, to be honest, for what people were expecting. I definitely would say that they are overachieving for now. As for Watford, probably the complete opposite. They are definitely underachieving, near the relegation zone. Hull 2-2-2 and 10 goals for, 12 goals against, not too bad. I think that they might be looking for a win here, though. I'm going to go with a 2-1 result for Hull. At home. No, away from home, sorry. I knew it was away from home, but I forgot. I don't... Sack the video off, man. Hull are going to win 2-1. And I'm going to go and edit these videos with the little amount of time that I have to do that. And also, I'm going to moan about this cramp in my leg. So, I'll see you all in the next one. Make sure to like, comment down below what you think will happen this week, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.